Time now for traffic and weather together with forewarned meteorologist Daniel McFarland. Daniel starting with a cool shot as well, overlooking those mountains. And Daniel, we still see those snow patches on the mountains. It always trips me out. Here we are in March, still seeing those.
Yeah, they're just trying to hang in there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're trying to hang on for dear life, because I tell you what, they're getting smaller and smaller every time you show them to us.
Yeah, and they're going to be gone, unfortunately, within the next week or so. We're going to have some very warm temperatures out there. So you can see it's just going to be on one side of the top of Mount Bigelow where they still have a bit of that snow left over. But the temperature is going to be very warm. In fact, at ground level, we're going to be having the 80s return tomorrow. And of course, at the top of the mountains, they're going to be reaching likely the lower 60s throughout a lot of that spot, which is going to be helping out their temperature and really staying a little bit warmer for the next few days. Now, something everyone's going to be dealing with over the next few days is going to be some stronger winds. I do think you could have the occasional breeze today, as we'll walk through, at around 15 to 20 miles per hour. But the real strong winds are going to be here, I think, towards the middle of the work week. And the reason why is because we have a very strong center of high pressure close to us. And at the same time, there's a low pressure that's going to be approaching us rather quickly. So what you're seeing here is a loop of just the last couple hours. That low looks to be right about here, and it's actually backing up just a tad bit. But before it does that, it's going to be making its way closer towards Tucson. And this is where we're going to be looking at the stronger winds. When you have high and low pressure close together, it really tends to bring up those winds quite a bit. Now, one thing you're not having with this low that will pass us by is too much rain. So look at where it is. Usually near Seattle, Vancouver, places like Portland, you have a lot of rain when you have lows in this position. But now we're in spring and we're seeing a different impact with these lows. So the main thing you need to keep an eye out for over not just the next week, but likely the next month is going to be stronger winds as fronts pass us by. For the morning hours, I think things are going to be pretty good if you're around Tucson. Not really going to have too many stronger winds before lunch, but if you're around Ajo, Sells, Sassabee, really those spots earlier in the day is where you could have the occasional breeze of 15 to 20 miles per hour. For Tucson, that's going to be during the afternoon up until about sunset. In between then and also sunset, we are going to be having the winds upwards of 15 to 20 miles per hour, and then that'll be dropping down during the overnight hours unless you're right near Nogales, near the border right there. That's going to be one spot I think might be lasting just a tad bit longer too. Over the next couple hours here, though, for the temperature, it's just going to be rising up quickly. That dry air that you saw is going to have a big impact when the sun comes up. So by about 9 a.m., a lot of us stopping in the mid-50s at that point in time before we eventually get closer towards 70 degrees at about 1 or 2 o'clock. And shortly after that, you should reach the high temperature around Tucson in between 70 and about 72 degrees for most of us. So a few degrees warmer than yesterday. And then a few places, even over there in Cochise County, have a chance for 70. Surprisingly, spots like Wilcox could be as high as 71, Tombstone at 70, and Douglas right around 73 for your high temperature out there. Next 7 days, the 3 days I'm going to highlight right in the middle of the week. So you have Tuesday through Thursday. Your strongest winds are going to be here on Thursday, though. That's when the real strong winds are going to be coming in to basically all of southern Arizona, with blowing dust being possible, especially around the Eloy area and around Wilcox, which is typically where you have it. So watch out for those two areas especially, but it's also possible in Tucson, and that's something we'll be tracking as we get closer towards that time. That was weather. Let's go ahead and check out traffic before we head on outside today. And things are still looking good on the roads. No reports of any wrecks in the city of Tucson itself. So if you are jumping on the interstate and